one time for the one time right now. Let's go.
Actually, cancel that.
If I hit this shot, I slid it myself. I'm just the fucking greatest ever, dude, honestly.
Tango on my mark.
What are we talking about? All right, we're talking about 2.5 mils. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I just want to preface this video by stating up front that the alleged quote-unquote leak about Bad Company 3 or even the next Battlefield is just that. It's alleged, all right? This is super uncertain. And the main point of this video is going to be discussing if it's even a good idea for Battlefield to make the next Battlefield Bad Company 3, considering they're coming off of Battlefield 2042, and it's just super risky for them to do Bad Company 3, even though it would garner massive attention, and people have been waiting for it for over a decade. So with that being said, we're going to be going over some pretty cool alleged information that may or may not have been leaked. And without further ado, let's jump right into the video. If you enjoy the content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders, first link in the description, and also on this very YouTube channel. So with all the big Battlefield news coming out recently, they did mention that they're going to be starting some playtests, and if you paid attention to Battlefield Bulletin on Twitter, which is one of the biggest accounts that covers Battlefield news, they did mention that you should be signing up for EA playtesting. This is just an open thing. You can go and sign up for it on your EA account, and you can playtest some games if you get invited. On top of that, one of the big pieces of news is that Battlefield stated they would be announcing something soon where people could play test and there would be some sort of community thing happening. They have not announced that yet. Nothing is confirmed, but with the EA playtesting thing, I have absolutely no doubt that there has already been internal playtesting with people that are not developers of the next Battlefield game, either at, the studios or perhaps even online. So with the EA playtesting thing being in the back of our minds, here is the alleged information, all right? This is just a YouTube comment. This could very well be fake, and like I stated at the beginning of the video, this is just to get a discussion going about what if the next Battlefield is actually Bad Company 3. Now, you would probably have insinuated by now that he says something about Bad Company 3 in these paragraphs, so let's read them. Quote, "Y'all can choose to believe me or not, I get nothing from brownie points, but I recently took part in a private playtest for assumedly either this Battlefield or the next one. It's looking seriously good, great gunplay, really solid gadget selection, good weapon pool, etc. It was alpha though, and I do mean hard alpha, pink trees type alpha. It's codenamed Glacier, but I'm fairly certain that it's Bad Company 3 TBH. Then somebody replies to this comment and asks him to describe it, and he has this to say, quote, "I don't know how much you want me to describe it, but for direct details, there were 3 maps, Eastwood, Tungsten, and Abasidon. Eastwood was in the Hollywood Hills, Tungsten resembled the final battle scene of Tenet, and Abasid was similar to something like Dust 2 or Showdown from COD 4. 4-class setup, Assault, Engineer, Support, Recon, 4 squad members as well. There were loads of destruction. Tungsten barely resembled itself by the time we were done lobbing tank shells and explosives at it. It was C5, that's due to it being built off of the back of 2042. A big example of the BC3 stuff is that they brought the tracking dart back. The weapon selection was heavily reminiscent, though I don't remember them since it was over a month ago now, and last player models and factions. Back to the classics of US versus Russia with low-tech BF3/BF4/BC1 and 2 sort of guys. Last things of note from the test was that there were challenges, like daily challenges that they were testing, and in those challenges I saw mentions of multiplayer, Portal, and regrettably Battle Royale, which I really hope doesn't stand for Battle Royale. So take this information with a massive grain of salt. This could very well not be accurate. However, it does spark interesting conversation. The entire notion of the next Battlefield game being Battlefield Bad Company 3 is a bit of a double-edged sword. It could be amazing, but it also has incredible potential to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, failures and risks the Battlefield series has ever seen. I just want you guys to think about this scenario for a second. Let's say you loved Battlefield Bad Company 2, as many people have. We all know that the Bad Company series hasn't seen an installment in over a decade, and many people have been basically begging them to make Battlefield Bad Company 3. Let's say they do make Bad Company 3 after all this time, and it turns out to be bad, with elements like Battle Royale that the core Battlefield player base isn't interested in. I think we can all come together as rational adults here and agree that that would potentially be worse than Battlefield 2042 for the Battlefield franchise, because we're talking about a game that has so much riding on it. This isn't Battlefield 2042. That game was fairly random in comparison to a Battlefield Bad Company 2 sequel. If they made Bad Company 3, they would have to make a campaign to continue Bad Company 2's campaign. They would have to match the aesthetic. They would probably have to create completely separate destruction mechanics to sort of mimic the way Bad Company 2 destruction was, with being able to level things. And he even mentions in this comment that the maps were kind of unrecognizable after they were done blowing stuff up. Then, of course, there's the question of what do they do with the movement? Admittedly, Battlefield Bad Company 2 hasn't aged well. You can't even run diagonally. And again, even with the controversy surrounding the Battlefield movement discussion, I think we can all agree you should probably be able to run diagonally in a modern video game. So they would have to adapt the movement to modern standards. This, of course, is a massive controversy, like I mentioned previously. What do you do with the movement? How much movement? Is there a slide? Is there not a slide? Can you jump? What's the spread mechanics like for the gunplay? And of course, all of these decisions are just what they do with the gameplay of Battlefield Bad Company 3. Now, I do want to direct your attention to a specific portion of this alleged leak, I guess. He did mention that the game is in hard alpha, and he also mentioned the playtest was a month ago at the time of him writing this comment, and this comment was written 10 days ago. So that means he playtested the game a little while ago at this point, and it was hard alpha, pink trees type alpha, meaning the trees have no textures. That doesn't sound good, to be honest. If the game is going to come out roughly at the end of 2025, and it's still in hard alpha state, oh boy, doesn't that just sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? Ooh, I can't wait to see how this ages, or if any of it is correct at all. It probably isn't, but the discussion here, I just love talking about this sort of stuff, this sort of speculation about what if this and what if that and what if it's Bad Company 3, oh my god, what if it fails? Oh boy. The very last thing I will point out via this YouTube comment is he mentions one of the maps was located in the Hollywood Hills, and we know from official information that came out recently that the Battle Royale was supposedly going to be set in the United States. So I'm going to leave you guys there. Speculate all you want in the comments section. Again, just want to really emphasize, this is not official information. This is potentially a leak. It's potentially nothing. It's just a YouTube comment of a guy claiming he play tested a game. That's all it is. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section about if the next Battlefield is Bad Company 3, and what do you think about that? Do you think it's a big risk? Do you think it isn't a risk? Do you even want to see Battlefield Bad Company 3, even though they just released Battlefield 2042, the worst Battlefield game of all time? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. The Delta Force playtest is creeping up on October 14th. I'm going to be streaming that a lot, and of course making a bunch of YouTube content. So if you plan on following Battlefield news and of course Delta Force, definitely subscribe to the channel and come by the streams, as I stream every single day on this YouTube channel and on my Twitch channel. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.
Around 50 meters from my position. Enemy soldier there! I'm reloading! Tango down!